Law Dog Sports here with you for the Weekend Big Show on a Friday. Hello, everybody. Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you. And, man, odd intros. I got to do some settings adjustment on my mixer board, as we may just scrap music intros altogether. We're not on the radio. We're on a podcast. But this is the Weekend Big Show, where we recap everything that's gone on in your week of sports and then also get you started to preview your weekend. Jeremy Schroeder, the ruler of the airwaves, joining me as he always does, the most consistent. And, man, you are the Cal Ripken of Great Plains podcasting.
I wouldn't go that far.
You're like the mail, Bubba. And glad you could join me again today. And we are winding up, Jeremy, to get ready for some real football. It was 3 games last night in the preseason. But you know what that means is we are getting closer to the real season, and that means Saturday night's the post-game wrap-up show here on Law Dog Sports, and some beer-soaked fun and analysis that will astound and wow most folks.
That is fantastic. I can't wait for it. Get to watch Shedeur Sanders go tonight. Man, I'm so excited. You just don't understand.
I'm as excited as a little girl.
We were talking before we came on. There are just some atrocious quarterback situations in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's come to this.
Well, and you know what's funny is in this day and time in college football, and we'll talk a lot about the Arch Manning stuff and the John Mateer and Jaden Ott stuff, but in this day and time, quarterbacks and running backs are you feeling like going into this college football season that there's like 1 or 2 big names, and then everybody else is just kind of a wait and see?
Pretty much, yeah. We're all in on Texas and Ohio State.
Yeah,
which for Texas it's every year. I mean, because they've got the track record of being just this juggernaut program.
Hey, listen, you can talk. I'll say this, and not to cut you off, but sorry. The Dari Noka show on KREF in Oklahoma City, in Norman, that's probably what the program needed as far as a social media and media-wise broadcast to really endeavor OU into the SEC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's the lead voice of the SEC network, and he's doing a show in Norman.
Yeah.
And he's really good. And the show's a lot of fun to listen to. Yeah, I was at the gym yesterday morning, saw Big Dusty in there hitting the weights, and then, I didn't see him leave, but I got in my truck, and he's on the radio with Dari.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I missed the Eli Drinkwitz interview.
Youngstown Mafia.
The Youngstown Mafia is coming for him, though.
Man, when Mark Stoops is shooting, pre-warning phone calls. Shut your mouth, punk.
You think old Bobo's going to stick that dead pinky in his eye?
Oh, yeah. And, man, I'm telling you.
Watch your mouth.
Just the social media content that comes from Dari doing a show in Oklahoma and talking Sooners, for 2 to 3 hours a day. It's really, I would imagine KREF, they lost their FM transmitter lease deal with the Buzz in Oklahoma City. I would think somebody in Oklahoma City would be trying to jump on that.
Yeah, and it's because there's so many honks around here only listening to it on the app. They weren't drawing the numbers on the FM signal. And, I listen to the FM signal. There's a lot of guys on that station I do enjoy listening to. I've enjoyed the evolution of Teddy Lehman. He's actually become pretty decent on the radio.
Yes, yeah.
I love hearing.
Oh, go ahead.
I love hearing Parker being wrong every day about every recruit that he talks about.
Yeah. And we'll talk some recruiting today as Texas Tech makes a major haul. Dan Narva checking in from Michigan. Morning, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Dan. Thanks for tuning in. And we switched over, Jeremy, to the YouTube feed because I was just I knew today there would be really hard to condense things down to an hour.
Yeah.
And there's so much going on. We've got a guest coming in at 9:45, actually, Ruben Turion with Southwestern Oklahoma State University Athletic Boosters. And they've got a big auction, and I've been meaning to get him on and talk about the SWOSU athletic auction. It's coming up tomorrow, and the online auction goes on stuff, but pretty near and dear to my heart. So I owe the guy some airtime. So we will visit with him at 9:45, but we'll try to cram in everything that we can. I sent you a topic list yesterday, and one of the things that we wanted to talk about, and apparently I flared up some emotion because you're blazing full-blown Cubs hat today.
That's right.
And I looked at the Cubs, and they're probably in the wild card. The question I posed to you was, what are the chances that either one kind of takes a summer swoon and misses out on the playoffs? A lot higher chances for the Rangers because they're out of it right now.
Yeah, the Cubs, I think, are 4.5 clear from the third place team, have the easiest remaining schedule. Rangers got to start. They got to start winning some series. They got to win a lot.
They do, and
3.5 out of it.
And guess what? Guess who they got coming to Arlington tonight?
The Yankees,
the Phillies.
Oh, the Phillies,
the red hot Phillies. I mean,
Kyle Schwarber. Huh?
Yes, he'll be good. He'll be floating that Ken Griffey swing all the way out to the left field porch.
And I'm going to say this: that's a Cub legend, Connard. I know he plays for the Phillies now, but he was on the 2016 team, came back from the knee injury, had some big hits in the World Series. He's a strikeout merchant, but man, when he gets a hold of one.
Strikeout merchant is not a thing that's opposed in the Major League Baseball.
He's having his Joey Gallo season this year where he's going to set career lows in strikeouts. I think he was in the 130s. This dude has hit over 200 strikeouts twice in his career. He's a career 230 hitter. He's hitting over 250. I think the last time I checked, he had 40 home runs. He's having his career season.
Yeah. And Connor, for full transparency for our fan, notice I didn't pluralize that. For our fan, we got tagged in a video of Schwarber going right field porch. He's a left-handed batter.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it was a really smooth swing, and Connor picked up on it and tagged us and said, when he gets so smooth. I mean,
every left-hander looks smooth.
I was going to say left-handed batters, and it harkened me back to the Ken Griffey Nintendo game, which I posed a question, what's the best baseball video game of all time? That one's my goat. But
you're old enough to remember RBI baseball on the original Nintendo.
Yeah, man. Technology was expensive back in the days.
I'm telling you. I remember afternoons at Washburn University sitting in the apartment playing RBI baseball with the fellas.
I think Sega one of the first ones to come out with an actual diamond, like graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think I remember the World Series baseball title being on maybe the Genesis. I know for certain it was on the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun because it had the home run derby in it, and then it just kind of transitioned over to MVP baseball, and then I just kind of quit playing it.
Yeah. Dan Narva didn't let the Phillies take the lead to the ninth. Johan Duran from the Twins has been lights out. I'm surprised anybody's left there to swing bats for the Twins. They seem to ship it all out. But the Phillies come to Arlington, and that's when you looking at Texas, Jeremy, then we'll get back to the video game stuff. I'm sorry to be jumping around. Texas 60 and 56 on the season. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They're 5 back in the wild card, game and a half back in the wild card, 4.5 back in the division. Houston has a series with New York this weekend. So it's going to be a situation where Texas, if they could if they could just figure out the offense, and I'm telling you, Corey Seager, that guy deserves a lot of applause because to me, he's kind of carrying that whole offense.
Yeah, kind of seems like a hitting coach is going to get fired in the offseason. Who is the hitting coach for the Rangers these days?
I could tell you the pitching coach. It's Mike Maddox, but who is it?
I have no idea. That's why I asked you, Mr. Rangers fan.
Well, thanks a lot.
Well, I know Barry Bonds is available.
I'd probably go with McGuire. I mean, at least get the good stuff.
Yeah, look what Bonds did for Yelich's swing when he worked with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing about your Cubs right now, man, is it Tim
Dansby Swanson is a terrorist.
Yeah.
Mr. I strikes out every game with runners in scoring position. Misses first base. It just drives me nuts.
Brett Boone, hitting coach.
Brett Boone, okay.
And Justin Viela.
Maybe Brett Boone needs to get him on one of them off-season cycles like he used to be so famous for.
Yeah. Well, it worked for Brady Anderson. It worked for Lenny Dykstra,
For a lot of fellas back then.
But, I mean, they've got young guys, young hitters who just are not really, I don't know.
That's one of those things.
It's obvious that offense is the problem, right?
Yeah. Every pitcher probably has a book on these guys now, but after this season, these guys will have a book on every pitcher, and
sure,
it'll even itself out. This probably was never going to be the year for Texas. I know that they won a World Series? Was it 23? They won the World. What year they won the World Series?
Yeah, it was 23.
23. So Texas isn't one of those franchises that's built dynasties like the Yankees, or where they've just gone out, brought in a Stanton or some other stud and just added to what they've got. The Dodgers, Major League Baseball is a train wreck for team building.
Yeah, it's funny, the big teams that spent big money this season are having their struggles. I mean, the Dodgers are
good.
Two ahead of San Diego right now.
And then you look at the Oklahoma City Comets, the Dodgers affiliate, they're loaded.
Yeah.
So, that organization, they've spent a ton of cash. Oh, they haven't spent it yet. I mean, they will in the future when all these deferred contracts come back.
Oh, yeah.
But they've drafted, developed well throughout their minor league system, which is how they're able to trade for big names at the trade deadline. Yeah. It's crazy that there's a LA organization that is that well run.
Yeah. Well, and that's the to switch over to basketball a little bit, that's the take on that gentleman, stepping in and buying out Jenny Buss and the Lakers. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's
if you wouldn't have said it, I would have remembered it. Mark something.
Well, and another thing is like the Mets, they're 2-8 in their last 10. I mean, you talk about a summer swoon.
Yep.
But I think I think as the season goes along,
Mark Walter,
that's his name. I know this is going to peeve you, but honestly, if the Brew Crew could make a playoff run, I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, it's always interesting when the Brewers make a playoff run. There's a lot of fun going on in that ballpark. Hit a home run, the guy slides down the slide into the big, beer mug. It's great. Always kind of like Yelich, good player.
Yeah.
I don't have any animosity towards the Brewers. I mean, I love Robin Yount.
Well,
Paul Molitor, man.
Our friend Newt Huntley, he doesn't share your sentiment.
Well, Newt's. I was tortured. I was a tortured youth. I was just used to the Cubs being terrible, and if they weren't terrible, they would find a way to be terrible when it mattered.
Oh,
it's all gravy, man. I've seen a World Series. Look,
yeah. Well, and you win one World Series, you want to go win some more, but
it'd be nice. But the ownership group is too cheap and less than motivated to do so.
It's tough. I mean, in this day and time, and you've already said it once right on this broadcast, crafting the rosters and figuring out, and I don't know if it's the impact of analytics or if it's just a situation where players are just so specialized.
Yeah. It's like the Cubs didn't win a World Series in 2017 and they just scrapped the whole roster. Got rid of everybody.
Yeah. And then, we'll see this we will see this in basketball upcoming.
Mhm.
We will see it and I think if you look at it, is it going to end up being like a situation where we're going to offload and eventually you're only going to have so many destinations to offload bad contracts because the team you want to offload to is going to have their own share of bad contracts. But I don't know how these general managers piecemeal together salaries and budgets and things like that is really, it's going to be interesting in all sports in the next 5 years.
Well, yeah, baseball is the outlier because they're just going to pay what they're going to pay.
Yeah.
And, luxury tax be damned. And, you can see with the way the money is that the Yankees will always be competitive. The Dodgers will always be competitive. And the rest of the league is just hopefully you can develop through your minor league system, make
Yeah.
smart trades. If you offer contracts, make sure that it's a guy that is totally worth it.
I'll tell you a kid that I've been keeping tabs on, and he's at Fayetteville, which I believe would be the North Carolina Fayetteville with the Astros minor leagues. But I called a handful of his games at Clinton when I first started out here in Western Oklahoma. His name's Caden Powell, and he's got a big bat, and he is athletic as all get out. I'm going to be interested to see his trajectory. But that's that's the fun part about baseball, that they get to include, and maybe it doesn't showcase them enough to be in the minor leagues. And I talked about this with Bill Conley and how we're kind of ascending towards a football. College football is just a farm league for the NFL, but they
Yeah.
get the highest premier notoriety because people love football.
Mhm.
But the fun part about baseball, and I think what makes baseball still pretty pure, is the fact that you do have guys who are really truly working
Mhm.
to try to get to the show, to try to get to that highest level, and it's not a guarantee.
No.
Everybody talks about Kyler Murray getting drafted in the first round by the A's back in the day, and he should have picked baseball. Well, hindsight could be 2020, but there's no guarantee that he would have gotten into the league.
That NFL contract and guaranteed money trumped that what he got $9 million to sign with
Yeah,
the A's
yeah,
with zero guarantee of ever making it to the major leagues.
yeah. And a guy like that, he can go out and command an offense well enough if you surround him with enough talent. Everybody knew he in football. It's just your talent and potential is way more definable.
Oh, yes.
And I know I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but I mean, just pointing out some of the obvious. But I like you said, the Dodgers have a lot of talent and a lot of good players in their farm system. What's always astounded me about Major League Baseball is how they're so quick to bump up a guy from Double-A, which is more of the prospect side, and Triple-A is just kind of fill in the parts when we need them.
Yeah. Pudge Rodriguez came straight from Double-A Tulsa
Yeah,
to the Rangers, and I don't think he ever went back. That
he
guy
didn't.
was amazing.
And Juan Gonzalez was at Triple-A, but
He
I mean, it
was.
was just kind of to fine tune
I
some
think
things.
Ruben Sierra was as well.
Probably, yeah. So anyways, but it'll be interesting, the way that the season escalates will be fun. I mean, you've got a team in the running. I could have a team, here, and I need to start pulling up the games on the radio again to to be able to keep up. But
hey, real quick before we jump off this subject of baseball, did you ever attend All Sports Stadium back in the 78, 79, 80 season to see one Ryan Sandberg playing for the 89ers?
I did not. I was in Coweta, Oklahoma back in those days as a young 9-year-old boy.
You never went to the Mecca of baseball to see Rhino, huh?
Never saw Rhino. Like I said, I think the first game I ever went to at All Sports Stadium was after I came here in '88 for college, but it was a year or two after that, but saw one gone out there.
Yeah.
And I want to say, would Bichelle have been there at that? I don't know. I'd have to look back at some 89ers rosters, but then I worked security for the 89ers after I got on with the police department. Several times worked security. That's where I got to meet Warren Spahn and Harmon Killebrew.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did security for them on an autograph tour. And just to delve into story time real quick, Killebrew was a salt of the earth type of guy. Spahn, not so much. And the stories will be told off air. But I will say this: Spahn told a guy for the 89ers that came up to meet him, he goes, "Hey, pleasure to meet you." I told him he had been in AAA for 6 years, and Spahn said, "I think I'd go sell insurance."
Well,
yeah. I was like, golly. I mean, I seriously was waiting to have to defend him because he was really pushing some buttons, but that's a story for over beers and not on the air. But
I got
Harmon Killebrew, salt of the earth type of guy, really neat dude. But yeah, got to do security for the Ryan Express. That's another thing with the Rangers. Eovaldi, man, what a season that guy is having, and pointed out, that I shared a tweet that is Eovaldi the greatest Rangers pitcher of ever? That was the question, I think, posed by the organization. And Max Patton mentioned that Nolan Ryan might have a say in that. And I said, well, they're both from the same town, Alvin, Texas, and Eovaldi's got 2 World Series rings, so suck on that.
Well, he'd have to strike out 250 batters for 22 seasons, and Nolan would still have more strikeouts.
That was probably a clickbait merchant.
I think Ryan had a World Series or 2, didn't he? Did he have one? I know he had one with the Mets.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the '69 Mets. Didn't he win one with them?
Yes,
that was it. I mean,
yeah, he didn't win one with the Angels.
They never sniffed the playoffs with the
Astros. They made it to the NLCS in '86.
Lost to the Mets.
Him and Mike Scott. Whatever happened to that dude?
Do you remember? Yeah, it's amazing when they did the documentary, and it might have been a 30 for 30 about the '86 Mets. Boy, they were really hurling the cheating accusations at Mike Scott, and I guess he might have had a pretty nice little file.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, made that fork ball just dive to nowhere.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's right. It's baseball.
Hey, college football, Jeremy, is on the cusp, and man, what kind of waves have been made this week when a weekend, basically the camps got started last week, several media days last weekend. I get bored with coaches during the preseason because it's the same stuff constantly, and it never tells you anything. But one thing that probably will be brought up in Normantown, and really not a lot going on with OU, but Jaden Ott reported to be sitting out of practice. Some other players. Man, I mean, the thing about it is it could probably be considered pretty common for a lot of programs this time of year and your first weekend of camp, but it has to send shockwaves down the necks of Sooner fans.
He has a little bit of a dinged up shoulder. He's suiting up. He's practicing, going through drills, just not doing contact right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're at a time and place in football that the contact drills, so many coaches have to probably be looking at it and saying, we'll risk our contact in games.
Yeah, a guy like Ott's been around. He doesn't need to get hit in practice. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I've seen a boot on a couple of guys. You still have Gibson and both Gibson boys, Giovanni and Jaden.
Yeah.
They were a little longer term injury. They should be full go by week 1. I don't think there's I know I haven't looked today, but I don't think there's any I don't think we're going to see an injury report for week 1 with, 9 different receivers on it, half the O-line. I think it's going to be okay.
Okay.
People need to calm down.
Well, it's just
I know that PTSD from last season. Believe me, I still feel it every time they say, "Oh, well, so and so said," I probably get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. But it's early. It's minor stuff. It's precautionary. We're not even in the games yet.
Calm down, all right? It's going to be okay. You can't panic. Soon fans at this very moment.
Now, I know somebody tweeted out that Nussmeier had a major injury yesterday, and boy, man, all them people down there eating that boudin were just in a full meltdown.
I'm telling you, Heisman contender, and
apparently it was a false report. He's fine.
Okay, I missed that part. I just saw the headline, but man,
it wasn't anything serious. He's fine.
And I fashion myself as someone who really tries to sift through the sensationalism of social media headlines, because I saw one last night, and Facebook is the worst.
Don't ever look at Facebook. My mom was like, "Did you see, Mom? Are you looking at Facebook again?"
There was some crazy page yesterday that said Kendrick Perkins fired from ESPN. It's like, why doesn't I don't know? Twitter
probably
self-policing. Really.
It's probably the same page that said Jason Kelce was coming out of retirement to play for the Chiefs.
There you go. But one thing that wasn't a sensationalistic headline, and it was for real, was the breaking news yesterday that 5-star edge rusher LaDainian Guyton committed to Texas Tech. And he's a 6'3", 235 edge from Savannah, Georgia. Number 1 recruit in the class of 2027, Jeremy. That's still a long ways off. But I mean, he was a big get for the Red Raiders and Cody Campbell and that big Matador club. They're raking them in, and they're sending shockwaves throughout college football. I'm kind of here for it, honestly. Go ahead.
I think next year Tech is going to be good. I don't know about this year.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Baron Morton's still there, right?
Huh?
Baron Morton's still
Baron
there,
Morton.
Right? Okay.
They lost Taj Brooks. He's going to be running the rock for Cincy. But their front 7 this year is pretty highly touted. Joey McGuire, I think, is a really good we'll see. I think he has the potential to be a really good coach, but
apparently he's learned a lot, because I haven't seen any sound bites from him about the Big 12 running through Lubbock.
Oh yeah. I doubt he's going to get that kind of bait. But what's funny is on social media, and I follow a page called Flatland Sports, and then we followed Ryan Hyatt on Twitter for a long time. But man, Utah fans really go at Tech fans a lot. Is that? I don't know where
fans are going at a lot of folks.
Yeah, I don't know where that all stems from. I don't know what Utah. I mean, I know Utah's got some Pac-12 titles, I guess, but hey, they did OU fans a solid by thumping Lincoln Riley in that first Pac-12 championship.
Beat them twice that year.
Yeah. So they got a little credit with OU fans, but I don't know, Jeremy. This, like I said, I know this is what it's coming to, but when you see that a kid's a 2027 recruit,
it's tough to project, especially with the way things are going and legislation coming down.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to project where he's going to end up, just because we do not know what the landscape of college football is going to look like, heck, a year from now.
Yeah.
In, next July, next August, if there are rule changes, there are, restrictions put in place on how much you can pay kids, where the money can come from. You may just see this be a flash in the pan for Tech, where they get this great recruiting class in 26, and then it kind of go back to maybe around what it was. I know their NIL will be healthier just because of Corey Campbell, but they're going to have to figure out a way around, the loopholes of the new rules when they do come out. And if it is truly what something Congress does, then there will be loopholes. There will be massive loopholes.
Yeah, and really, it's funny. Out of the interview with Bill Connolly, I automatically thought of 10 extra questions I could have asked him about future of college football. Now I am he kind of forwarded me some excerpts from his book, which is coming out September 2nd, but I haven't got to the meat of some of the stuff that he sent me yet. But I don't know, Jeremy, talk about a commissioner and talk about other things. I mean, but this Tech stuff, like I said, it is ruffling the feathers of a lot of people, Texas fans.
We've seen this before when imagine if Boone Pickens would have been around for this.
Yeah,
all that money.
Do you think he'd be? I mean, he did so much as it was. Do you think
he made that program relevant by himself? Gundy's a good coach, but his money made it possible.
Yeah. Well, and I get that, but I mean, how come it, just him passing it died off? I mean, didn't he leave enough back for him? Or I mean,
does it look like it?
No.
I don't know the particulars of it, but I do know when folks die, their investments seem to get pulled back and thrown back into this estate a lot. Look at when a certain local celebrity country and Western music singer passed, and then you've seen what happened to a few of his investments.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, and man, feel bad for that one guy.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I get what you're talking about, and I don't know. I guess really, had T. Boone Pickens been alive right now, you would see more of his impact on the NIL, like you're talking about. He
definitely
did everything he could with facilities and money for the program, things like that. But they've still run.
How awful was that stadium before? Because I played in that stadium back in '92, and it was a dump, just a dump.
No, Rust-Oleum Stadium. That was the old
Rust-Oleum Stadium
and Lewis Field, but it's a heck of a place now. But
it's nice now.
Unfortunately, now, I mean, it's just not big enough according to these, snobbery standards. That if you're not 85 or bigger,
well, you got a building sitting in the end zone.
You could do something with that.
Well, you'd have to tear out the basketball arena,
upper level, baby, upper deck.
Yep.
Hold on just a second. I'm emailing Ruben, but it's a situation where, to me, they've had such a low recruiting budget compared to the rest of the conference.
And even then, Gundy wasn't using it all.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And then you see a 3-9, or were they 3-9 last year?
Yeah, no conference wins.
You're like, well, I can probably point out a few reasons why: recruiting budget, NIL's not any good. You're in Stillwater.
Well, and looking at, I picked up my Vite pigskin preview, and Austin Chadwick and Mark Rogers, kind of mandatory to give them a shout out, but they wrote up their OSU preview, and Robert Allen does it. And to read the first 4 or 5 paragraphs, you would think that they were just
contender.
Under the spell of all this portal and NIL stuff last year. They had a bunch of returners coming back last year.
They did. They had
a bunch.
They had 5 guys drafted.
Yeah, and you turn in no conference wins when you're bringing in Arizona and Arizona State. Now, I know they didn't play.
Arizona State won the conference, man.
Yeah, they did, but
Arizona they had quite a fall off from the prior season.
Yeah.
They lost to Utah. Utah did not have a good season. They're just
West
recovering
Virginia
from.
wasn't anything last year.
Nope.
You had them at home. Tech, they got into a shootout with them at home, but Tech kind of put them away. But then the 52-0 against Colorado,
Yeah, that's
bad.
Did they beat Arkansas last year?
Yes, in overtime, double overtime.
When they won that game, I thought they were going to be pretty decent. What's up, Booze?
Michael Busso checking in. So, yeah, you're exactly right, Jeremy. And that was my thing. Is like, I don't think you can blame last season on the whole, we were just getting used to NIL and the portal and stuff. You had a lot of returning talent
guys
in the season before.
They just couldn't figure out the quarterback situation, which I don't even know if they've got that figured out for this season.
And they couldn't block.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a Doak Walker Award winner coming back.
You got a guy. They had a quarterback last season that took them to the conference, or had taken them to a conference championship game.
Yeah,
Alan Bowman.
I mean,
I know he was 40, but he was very serviceable, and things didn't work out. You still had Ollie Gordon to hand the ball off to, and the offense took a 180.
Yeah,
it seemed like they were a throw first team last year.
How they pulled off that double overtime win against Arkansas, it's got to be totally laid on the shoulders of Sam Pittman.
No, maybe Connor can chime in, but yeah, that was Arkansas being Arkansas.
What's funny is we were told in our text thread that switching to YouTube would help one certain listener because he streams it easier, and we've yet to hear from him today. That'd be Steve Anderson down in southeastern Oklahoma. Which I was going to take exception, or I was going to take up a topic with him. I've been filling in on some shifts with the classic country station for Wright Media in Weatherford, Coyote Classic 100.3 FM, doing some afternoon shifts. And Jeremy, it's funny. Everybody always talks about the vulgarity of today and, all the rap lyrics and all the pop lyrics and everything. And I'm sitting there listening to Dave and Sugar from the 1970s, who were billed as the country Tony Orlando and Dawn, and a cringy song called "Knee Deep in Loving You," and then Loretta Lynn singing "I Want You Out of My Head and Into My Bed." I'm like, well, that was everything. Everything back then was double entendre, and
You ever listen to Conway Twitty? I'm sure you have.
Conway Twitty. What was he said that one line? There's a tiger in these tight fitting jeans.
That's right.
But anyway, so Steve Anderson, big country music fan. And, one of our topics we'll get into later on also, Jeremy, is a song from the 90s that you did not like then, but you won't turn it away now. And so we'll kind of get into that. But back on college football, I really hope for OSU's sake that they come back. I mean, they've got so many players that are there, for the first time. I mean, it has to be like kind of a get to know me thing through every day of camp.
Yeah. Would they have 40 transfers? Was that the number I saw?
35, I thought.
35
or 40.
That is a ton.
Yeah. So anyways, but Haas Haney or Zane Flores predicted to
even said it right. Good job.
I did. Yeah, it's Haas Haney and Zane Flores. But
what about Malachi
Nelson?
No.
Oh.
No, there's a kid named Malachi on that roster, but if you look at how Malachi is spelled, it's different. I thought he was Polynesian, but he is not.
There's a Mordecai.
Mordecai
McDaniel, projected starting safety.
Okay. Maybe he's not. Maybe he transferred out.
Well, I mean, nothing against the Pokes, and I am rooting for them, especially in the new form Big 12. But when the preview issue of your team projects the top newcomer as wide receiver Terrell Davis, the former Central Oklahoma star, committed in April. And I got nothing against D2 kids. I mean, they work hard. They can, hone their craft. They can be talented, maybe have been overlooked. But, man, people blasted OU for their Pittsburgh State or Emporia State transfer. I mean, that's
– yeah. You find guys that can play everywhere, right? I mean, okay, Malachi Smith is now with Ole Miss, so he transferred to Mississippi.
Yeah.
But the spelling is Maealiuaki.
Malaki.
I mean, I guess he does look, maybe he could be Polynesian, but that is it is pronounced Malachi.
Well, OSU's, they've got to gel, they've got to get it put together. They start their season August 28th. Or is that 29th? Let me see real quick.
They play on a Friday or a
UT Martin at home, and then they travel to Eugene to take on the Ducks. And that's
so 1-1 start, huh?
I mean,
you never know. Oregon's replacing a lot of guys too. I mean, not quite to the level that Oklahoma State is, but there are levels to it. The guys that Oklahoma State is replacing aren't guys that are possible day one starters at the next level.
Yeah. Well, and going forward in this portal stuff, I mean, and we've asked this question over the past several years: high school kid with potential, or portal guy who's got 2 seasons, in a program, and regardless of what program it is, it's a collegiate program in a strength and conditioning program on a collegiate level. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you can pull guys transfer, I mean, you got the edge rusher from Florida State, and Marvin Jones Jr. I think.
Yep.
That would be amazing if he comes in and really shows that, that's the real deal. So,
I mean, they're deep at that position.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up we'll talk some more college football here in just a minute, but let's go to the studio line and let's bring in a guy that I've come to know out here in Western Oklahoma. His name is Ruben Turion, and he is Mr. Go-Getter for the University of Southwestern Oklahoma State University. And they have a big auction going on right now online, and then the big in-person auction is tomorrow. Ruben Turion, good to see you, amigo. Can you hear me?
He might be muted.
Oh, nope. Let's get his microphone, make sure he's up. Ruben Turion, can you hear me?
Does not appear he can.
Okay, let's hold on just a second while we work on trying to get him back on here. So anyways, SWOSU.
Ruben is saying he can't hear anything.
Can't hear anything. Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll check on him, and if we can't get him fixed up, I'll just give him a call.
Okay.
But SWOSU is a situation where they're looking to bounce back from some bad to mediocre seasons. And it's, shoot, Jeremy, they brought in Rex Ryan for a benefit fundraiser back in June. So, I mean, they're getting for real on they call it the Hilltop in weather.
Yeah. That's cool. Rex Ryan.
Ruben, can you hear me? He made a motion towards the camera like he might. You said you're at SWOSU. Get one of them college kids in there to come hook you up.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear you.
Okay. Not hearing.
Maybe he's just going to have to go open air.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Ruben, can you hear me? No, not yet. All right. So he checked out. I tell you what, I will give him a call real quick. And hold on just a second. I don't want to do that quite yet. But no, Rex Ryan came in for one of the benefit fundraisers out at Prairie West Golf Course in Weatherford. And I mean, he's an alum, him and his brother both. And I tell you, Jeremy, I mean, that's you get to a situation, you have to depend on your alums. They're the ones that kind of get people up.
Yeah, does he get a portion of the gate for showing up, or what was his fee?
So, I'm sorry, say again.
What was his fee?
I didn't check it. Guess who shows up? Steve Anderson.
Wow.
Eastern Oklahoma. So thanks for tuning in, pal. I don't know what, okay. So back we missed you on the golf course last week. Went to Clinton Riverside and golfed with our good friend Marty Wandry from Clinton Liquor, who told me he would prefer us to move the show to the afternoon so he could jump in. 9 a.m. is his open time.
Hey, I'm totally good with that. The way my schedule is, afternoon would be fantastic.
Well, okay. the reason I've kind of stuck with the 9 a.m. is because, I've got football coming up.
I understand.
And Fridays are travel day and stuff like that. Let's give Ruben Turion another try. Can you hear me, amigo?
I can now.
There he is.
Praise the Lord.
Trouble with technology over here getting online. How are you guys doing? Good morning.
I'm good, buddy. Ruben Turion, for folks that don't know, you are very active with Southwestern Oklahoma State University alumni and athletic boosting and things like that. And you guys having a big function. It's your big yearly function to get things rolling for the athletic department there on the hilltop in Weatherford. Talk about what you've got going on the rest of today and then going into tomorrow.
It's a big weekend on campus. We've got the Hall of Fame. So we've got 3 very special inductees going in tonight.
Yeah.
I know everyone's seen all that, talked about all those 3. Shane, Ida, and Megan. They're 3 kids that I knew whenever I was the assistant athletic director there at the college. So it's special for me to see those kids going in. Tomorrow is the big athletic auction. And I don't know how to tell you this. And you see these gray. See this gray right here? When I started this 19 years ago, this right here was as black as this.
Listen, you can't blame it all. You can't blame it all on the school. I would imagine those daughters of yours and
my daughter,
all the commuting and stuff you do.
All of that adds to it. But we're going into year 19. I mean, I guess it just didn't click.
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time. And the money all goes into the athletic scholarship fund. As you know, we have struggles with our scholarship budget, and that's no one's fault. It's state budgets. It's where we're at. Nothing that we can change, but the only thing that we could do was to help supplement that budget.
Yeah.
So I guess it would have been 2006 when I started, and Ryan Held was our football coach at the time. And he said to me, man, he goes, how am I supposed to compete? He goes, NCAA will let us have 36 scholarships, and we've only got 32. And I thought, my gosh, I didn't know that. None of us had realized, the struggle that he was up against.
Yeah.
And so I went in, talked to a couple of boosters, and I said, I think we can pull off a fundraiser event, auction of some sort, and fix that gap. So the athletic director at the time, Cecil Perkins, he said, knock yourself out. If you want to do it, get it, go. And so I thought, $40,000 can't be that hard to raise. 4 scholarships at that time, it was 9,800 times 4.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's not that much. We can do that. But then I wasn't thinking we also have a men's basketball program, women's basketball program, soccer, baseball, men's golf, women's rodeo, all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Well, so we go back now, and we've been doing this event for 19 years. You'd think that we might have closed that gap, and we're now almost 8 scholarships short in football.
Yeah.
And so when someone says, why is the record this or why is the record that? We're also going in with 8 less scholarships than the guy across the street. Maybe not 8, but
yeah,
because we don't know we can't see where everyone lines up at. So this is, it's been a great event because it brings all the parents and everyone everyone gets involved in it. The parents of the athletes, the community. It's kind of everyone comes together to help the scholarship budget.
Well, and there's some amazing things to auction on, to bid on. I mean, just the list that I've seen, it's really stunning. Some of the things you could walk away with at that.
They've done a great job. They've done a phenomenal job of getting items. That was the most fun thing for me at work whenever I was the assistant athletic director at college, was going and getting these items.
Boy, and man, you got to have some gumption, because I'm a chicken scratch guy. I'm afraid to ask Jeremy to show up here every Friday.
I remember the first time I got the phone call from Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
I was in the parking lot at Chilino's. It was 114 degrees in September, like the 3rd week of September back in 2009 or 10. And I answered the phone. I had no idea who it was. He said, hey, Ruben, this is Rex Ryan. I thought, it's got to be a joke, but I recognized the voice. And so he said, what can I help you with? And I said, well, this is what we're doing. He went to Southwestern. He knows the struggles we've been through. And I explained to him, and I said, Cecil Perkins, our athletic director, told me to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And we've got an idea. I thought maybe we could score a couple of 50-yard line tickets to the Monday night game to watch Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson play against you guys. They're at Jet Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, I probably couldn't do that. And he was joking. He said, but I'll give you 4 tickets in my personal suite.
Oh, wow.
And Bar S had already given us 2 plane tickets. So I called over to Bar S and I said, Rex Ryan has stepped up and said he'll give me 4 tickets. Could you maybe alter that to 4 plane tickets instead of 2? And they said, absolutely.
Wow.
So I called Jerry over at Bar S and they got that hooked up. We just got back from a conference and we met the people at the Hilton. So the Hilton corporate gave us 2 suites for 2 nights.
Wow.
And someone else gave us a $500 gift card. That one item sold for $30,000.
Wow.
Holy moly. Yeah.
And that was the first gigantic ticket item we'd ever had. And that was it was at the Wellness Center. So it was before the event center was even built. So that kind of shows you the timeline.
Yeah. So SWOSU right now, I mean, in this era of college football, they could really use a Cody Campbell, an alumni guy, to strike out and sell a company for a couple of billion.
I mean, right now,
that's
look
the
at
going standard right now in college football.
UCO. They have Chad Richardson with Paycom. Their stadium.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, do you think they have water features in the end zone because the state said that was a good idea? No. The Richardson family thought that'd be a great idea to fix up his alma mater, so they did.
They're not Richardson Holmes people, are they?
No. There's no R in his. Richardson, yeah. they are as good as gold. The Paycom people have helped them out so much. And we had an alum step up and a very large donation, $500,000 donation.
Really?
For the football endowment within the last year. I don't know the exact amount, but it was very, very large.
So does that mean they're going to name a street after you?
I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. I was just along for the ride. I didn't do anything.
Well, I know some of the items that go up for auction are like the naming rights for a street in Weatherford, and I always hear trash talk from the Clinton folk that they're going.
We had fun with that. We had a lot of fun with that. The young ladies in our office were able to score that item. We had fun with it because all you have to do is get the Clinton guys excited about 2 weeks out.
I think I was golfing with Juan Garcia
maybe
a couple of years ago, and he was threatening my boss Heston Wright to bid on that and name a street in Weatherford, Red Tornado Way.
They did it, and they went back and forth. They went back and forth, and it was Juan's table and a group from Weatherford, and then another group from Weatherford. So it was 2 versus 1, and they went at it. And then finally, I believe it was Marcus Wright got it for $30,000.
Wow.
So what was that? Was the street named Red Tornado Way?
No.
No.
That's why he bought it. And I think he is still in limbo. I think the last thing he had said was the right way because his last name is spelled right, like Harold and Heston, WRIGHT, and he wanted to call it the right way.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we haven't gotten that done yet. I mean, we're waiting on him to prove something. So as soon as they get that done, that'll be done. But can you imagine getting the name of street? That's a pretty cool item.
Hey, I've always said that if I ever won the lottery, I was going to sponsor the News 9 weather chopper.
Yeah,
it's going to be called the Chuck by God Ramsey News 9 weather chopper. So,
and Jim Gardner, you're going to say whatever he says.
That's right. And big shout out to Matt Jett over at Jet Distributing, and he's an alumnus, and now he's got a boy who's going to be playing football there on the Hilltop. Nick Jett with a lot of wheels.
It's really cool to see the Weatherford kids.
Yeah, talk about what it's like for you and your long-standing relationship with the community of Weatherford and SWOSU, how you see things kind of coming full circle. The people you've known through your time, now they've got kids coming in and things like that.
So go back to 1996. Matt Jett and I were roommates. I say roommates. If you can imagine anybody giving me the keys to the apartment complex, I was the manager. We had 12 units.
Wow.
My family owned the apartments, and I was the manager. So whenever I said Matt was my roommate, I walked out my front door and walked into his. So we were basically roommates. And that relationship started back in the 90s with Matt Jett. So he was my first phone call whenever we started this auction, 20 years ago. And he helps with everything we're doing. So now when you've got his kid playing, now it's not only, would you like to help us out with this, and this? Hey, we'll see you on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to start cooking chili for the game.
Yeah.
So I'm getting more time with my buddies that
so
I might not have gotten at a game.
Am I welcome up in the Turion suite there at Flex Chem Field? I mean, if I show up, do I got to go sit out with the rabble, or do I get to come inside and have fun?
The Turion suite is that portable bathroom. They've given me something way off there. I don't have any suites, but when we have the Flex Chem,
there's 2 seats in it.
October 4th, the Flex Chem Classic, we have a VIP suite October 4th that we're going to do it up, and we've got Hangry Joe's coming in. I will have tickets for you guys waiting at the door.
Oh, sweet, Jeremy, we got to drag you out to
Western Oklahoma.
You got to come out.
Yeah, they're wanting you out here, Jeremy. You had an invite to golf last week, and now you got an invite to a SWOSU game.
I need to get some time off. 2 days just ain't going to do it.
No, you gotta hit up that schedule. Ruben Turion with the SWOSU athletic department fundraisers and the boosters and things like that, and you do so much stuff behind the scenes, I believe, and I haven't delved into what you do behind the scenes, but
it's fun.
No, it is fun, and you're a fixture in the city of Weatherford. But talk about what it means for a school like SWOSU to have a broadcast partner like Right Media for your events and for all of the sports, and just also
it's like
getting the word out.
It's a left arm, right arm situation. We can't do that without them. I mean, everything about getting the people promoting the events throughout the week, a month out, 2 months out, having a remote to promote, whatever it may be. It's just a perfect partnership. And whenever the coaching staff has a relationship with all the media partners and they're a text message away, instead of, oh my gosh, can we get on the phone to ask you 3 questions about what just happened, or a kid gets hurt, being able to shoot that text message to coach and saying, hey, can you give me a little last second insight? You've seen the partnership, the halftime, the interviews at halftime on the radio, just the whole thing that we've been able to, promote for both entities has been awesome.
For sure, and it is a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be more of a presence at SWOSU games this season. That is the plan. And you've got the big live auction and dinner coming up tomorrow, and that's just going to be a whole lot of fun. Single tickets are $100. Reserve tables $8 for $1,000. And man, it's always a big event, isn't it?
You've still got some time to get online. The SWOSUathleticauction.com is where you can go. You mentioned Matt Jett being an alum and helping out with this. He's not the only one. You look at it, Corky Hurd, our auctioneer. Jessica Perry, his daughter, came to play golf at Southwestern.
Yeah, Hurd Auctions.
He's an alum. She played golf, and full circle with that family, helping the same thing. And then Mark McLean with Benny Keith Foods. They're taking care of all the food for the event. So, and he was on the track team at SWOSU. So you've got 3 former athletes and alumni that have all come back to help out with the event. It makes it really easy. And like you said, we couldn't do this without our corporate partners.
For sure.
Right Media has been tremendous on helping us sell tickets, helping us sell the the raffle tickets.
Yeah.
And somehow Heston wins every other year.
Somehow.
Because he buys more raffle tickets.
Exactly.
I keep telling people, rather than complain, buy more tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Anderson, one of our super fans, when I was at Southeastern in 95 and 98, the ladies basketball games between Southeastern and Southwestern were epic. There's a lot of history with Southwestern and the state schools, the directional schools in Oklahoma. Now with the Great American Conference and some of those trips to Monticello, Arkansas and such like that, I mean, you probably fly your jet down there, but to attend.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have a drone, a one-man drone. I just hop in. No, you know what? I keep hearing rumblings of the OIC, the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference, popping back up, and I don't know for a fact if that'll happen or not.
I mean, you throw in UCO and Northeastern and Rogers State, those teams that are in the MIAA, which, I mean, I won't bag on the MIAA too much because we've got a Washburn alumnus here on the air with us, but
dude, we can't bag on them. They do everything well.
That's
MIAA,
right.
my gosh. I mean, look at what they're doing.
They really do. SWOSUathleticauction.com. He's Ruben Turion. Man, Ruben, thanks so much for jumping on with us. And sorry it was such a hassle to get you on here. I know.
Oh, no, dude, it's me and technology. I apologize. Next time it'll be a lot easier.
No, you're fine.
Same problems over here half the time.
Yeah,
just gotta unplug stuff and plug it back in until it works.
We rarely get off the ground without some sort of malfunction. But man, hope you guys have a wonderful event. I'll check in with you tomorrow, see how much more of your hair you pulled out.
You let me know. Thanks, guys.
He's Ruben Turion with the SWOSU athletic auction, and that's a big event. But hey, real quick, Jeremy, as we try not to go too much over an hour, but we've been packing a lot.
We still have stuff to do. We're good. We're on YouTube today.
Arch Manning, Grandpa Archie says that he's going to stay on the 40 acres, not go in the draft next season. I think that's poppycock.
I think it is too. If he's got if he's the consensus number 1 overall selection, if he has that good a season, Texas makes the playoffs, at least competes for a national title.
Yeah,
they would be just insane to turn down the number 1 overall selection. I'm sorry. I do realize that Archie counseled Eli not to go to San Diego, but he was still the number 1 overall pick, right? So was Peyton.
Yeah.
He's been in college long enough. He hadn't started a lot of games. He's going to start a lot of games this season. If he stays healthy, he's going to start potentially 16 games this year if they make it to the final. How do you turn it down?
Here's the thing, and I hate to give the pencil neck in LA. Well, now he's in Chicago. I hate to give the pencil neck any sort of credo, but he does make a good point. With Shadur Sanders, a lot of the pressure that Shadur endured, as far as, the offensive line was criticized. I think a lot of times he held the ball too much, but he faced a lot of pressure in his face and was able to make plays,
And he had to be perfect because that team was not very good.
Exactly. So you're talking about a guy who, on a team that underperformed, manages to he goes 5th round. I'm not trying to, make something out of nothing.
He shouldn't have gone 5th round. Everyone knows that.
No.
But it was
extenuating circumstances. The thing with Arch Manning is there could be extenuating circumstances with that too.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing all this great relation and feel good with Jimmy Haslam and the Browns. But is Cooper Manning going to sign off on his boy going to Cleveland?
Good God, who would?
And so
if the Browns get the number 1 overall pick, you can book it. He's going to go back. He's going to go back to Texas.
I got to wonder.
And that's crazy, Chuck.
Yeah, it is. And the thing about it is I know going into this season with Texas, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of immense talent. We're told on a daily. But, he could succeed and still not really be ready.
There are 3 organizations. I could argue a 4th, Dallas, that you do not want to go to if you are a young quarterback.
Yeah.
3 at the top of my list. Cleveland, Chicago, New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans is in cap hell.
Yeah. I saw on Bob Kemp's bottom line earlier this week that Spencer Rattler is ahead of Tyler Shook.
Well,
Rattler. I said Rattler, didn't I?
The thing with Spencer Rattler is it's not physicals with him. It's kind of that Joe Milton thing. It's all in his head.
Yeah.
Shook, I think time will tell with him. He played so much college football, just so much, but he was so injury prone.
Yeah.
Going to a situation like New Orleans where that's not a good roster.
Yeah.
They don't have the money to go out and get guys just because it's a salary cap and dead money issue with them.
Don't you think that it's a situation also where, and back on Arch Manning, is Grandpa really telling the family line? Did they have him say that for reasons for future negotiations, or is it him talking out of turn?
I think it's all of those. I think it's all of those. You don't want to see it, just like with Eli. The Chargers weren't in a great spot when they drafted. That roster wasn't great. They had given up on Drew Brees, which turns out that might have been a mistake because he went to New Orleans and they won a Super Bowl. He threw for about 1 billion yards until he literally could not raise his arm to throw another football.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the Eli to holding out, not going to San Diego. the guy who went to San Diego behind
Philip
him
Rivers was fantastic.
Had pretty dang good career. Had Antonio Gates at his disposal for several years.
LT.
Yeah, Tomlinson. I mean,
had some daggone good wide receivers. Who was the big receiver? That Keenan McCardell.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to mention that Keenan Allen's after Philip Rivers, right?
I think he had to have been there at some point with
Rivers.
Rivers wasn't there that long ago.
No, that's the thing. Did he go to Indianapolis for a minute?
He played a year in Indianapolis.
Well, he's got like a fleet of kids that are about to start taking over the league.
He's got 10 kids.
Everybody bags on Nick Cannon for that, but
Philip Rivers has 10 kids with the same woman.
Hey, hey, how about those ponies down in Dallas right now? They coming off the heels of ACC Media Days. Rhett Lashley kind of sounding off with some bites against the SEC, but this is a team, Jeremy. I know everybody's picking Clemson to win the ACC, and they've got just a bunch of potential first-round talent on their roster. And, I think everybody's thinking Garrett Riley, can do better than his brother possibly with Cade Klubnik and some of the weapons they have. But, man, SMU, I would think the book on Kevin Jennings is pretty dang high right now that he can go in and perform at a big level.
Yeah, and outside of the playoff last year, he did that all season.
Yeah,
because he was bad in that playoff game.
Well, and he mounted the comeback. Yeah, mounted the comeback against Clemson. Fell short, but then Clemson and SMU were.
He threw some bad picks in that Clemson game last year too.
Yeah.
But you got to think another. That experience is just going to make him better. They've got a lot of talent down there in Dallas. They've thrown a lot of money around. Portal. They've got a good recruiting class coming in.
Chris Johnson, a junior running back from Miami, expected to contribute pretty quickly.
All signs are pointing up in Dallas, man. That is a program that is on the rise, man. Just to think of where that program would be had the death penalty never occurred.
Yeah, especially with the way that boosters have played a role throughout the last 15 years.
So much money down there, dude.
Yeah, it is a lot, and
it's cool that they're back. Lashley's a really good coach.
Just think that could all be Sonny Dykes if he would have stuck it out.
Sonny. Yeah, Sonny didn't want it. Yeah, he wanted to go across town.
Yep. Well, college football is warming up. Camps going on. We'll see. I mean, that's the thing about the Arch Manning stuff is we'll get to see what he does when he is the guy. And granted, they've got some cupcakes in the early stages, but they go to Columbus week 1, and that's a big noon kickoff. And I think Texas will probably have the firepower to probably. I just think there's so many unknowns with Ryan Day in that squad right now.
Yeah, there's some unknowns with that UT, replacing 4 or 5 starters on the offensive line. And I think that fifth guy, the guy returning, is dinged up right now.
Yeah. So offensive line could be, they talk about Arch's mobility. He's probably going to have to really.
They say they're loaded at receiver, but a lot of those guys are new to the program.
Yeah. And, if they come away and he has a big season and, passing the ball and their receivers have big numbers, that's truly just a reload situation that Sarkisian can, with the assets at their disposal, they can just, do that on a whim, obviously.
Oh, you think?
And what a terrible time for NIL and crap like that.
I know. It's like 130 years of college football in Texas, and, they can only get good when they can legally pay guys.
Texas hires a competent coach, and damn if they don't get the pay. So, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Need DeBoer to go ahead and bottom out in Tuscaloosa so they can come and get. And there's no guarantees that Sark would leave for Tuscaloosa with the situation he's got in Texas.
Well, did you hear the guy that does the talk show in Tuscaloosa talk about Texas and all their empty cabinet space and their trophy shelf and things like that? Here's one thing that's pretty interesting in the SEC dynamic, Jeremy, is Texas is really ruffling the feathers of the old guard. Bama and Georgia beat them twice last season, but
and that's the thing with Texas is we didn't pay attention to Texas in the Big 12 because they sucked for so many years. Yeah, there was the braggadocio. They talked a lot of noise, and Texas is back. They won 8 games, and then they fall flat on their face.
Yeah.
But now, the
It's
Puff Fund, the
mean,
boosters, you got a good coach in there.
A Lambo dealer in Austin.
And now they're pissing people off, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's so funny that Texas fans will bag on Texas Tech fans. It's like
they're doing the same thing.
It's like that Spider-Man meme,
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't know.
Kirby Smart, save us.
Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing. I'm a creature of habit, and I like things to kind of stay the way they are. I guess I wanted OU to be in the running to upseat all the old guard of the SEC. They have not been.
Yeah, just
Texas has been up.
Give
to
it time. Give it time.
But I mean, the thing about it is Texas has 2 seasons, in essence, where they won 1 playoff game, which is 1 more than OU made, but OU made a lot more playoffs so far.
Yep.
And they used to roast OU for the one and done playoff appearance.
Yep.
So, welcome
SEC championship game is technically a playoff game, and they
play-in game for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, we said we were going to talk a little bit of musica. What is a song? And let's see, Steve Anderson's sending me voice messages. I don't know what that's about.
He sat on his phone.
He must have. I asked the question, 2 things. What's we kind of touched on this in the on the Facebook post, the greatest baseball video game. And I was thinking of one, Jeremy, that I bought in 1998. I got my first PC, and I bought a Major League Baseball game that you played with the computer keys, and I might have gone and bought a joystick. I can't remember, but it was hard, and I didn't like having to try to navigate. Playing on full transparency, I've never played any video game above easy.
Sure.
Does that make me a loser?
I get right there in the middle. Whatever. There's the easy. There's the I don't have time for this level.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Lived
in the middle.
Yeah. Dan Narva chimed in on the OU situation. A little different situation for OU trying to remake their D after Muleshoe. It's funny that he brings up Lincoln Riley, Jeremy, because Yahoo Sports and their writer Andy Backstrom wrote an article called "The 10 College Football Teams Poised to Disappoint This Season." And Missouri and USC were kind of on that list. Tennessee, Illinois, and Syracuse also. But, you're coming off of a number 1 ranked recruiting class. And, the fact that since Caleb's been gone, he has not been able to settle on a quarterback. Now, the Maeva kid, is probably –
and he's a transfer, so he's got a lot of experience with molding transfers.
But and isn't he a bit of a dual threat guy?
Yeah, and he's had a lot of success with dual threat guys.
Yeah, and Miller Moss bailed out of there after wowing the world in his bowl game, and then I don't know.
Watch him just take off at Louisville.
That's what I was thinking. Tennessee on that list, Illinois, which I'll never root against Brett Bielema.
No, and they're one of the teams I'm really excited for this season. I love Bielema. If you could create a Big Ten coach in a lab, that's what would roll out 10 out of 10 times.
And he should have never left Wisconsin.
No, he had a great situation, but he wanted to coach at SEC.
I don't know if his showgirl wife wanted him, wanted to be somewhere warmer or what the deal was, but
Fayetteville did not work out.
Bobby Petrino's getting round too, so but no, the Ken Griffey Nintendo. I tell you, I spent a lot of time on that back in 1994. Before I'd go to work each afternoon, I'd spend some time on that. And let me tell you something. It took forever to create your own player back in those days because you had that Nintendo controller that you had to,
the stick and
and the buttons and go through the keyboard to type a name. And I think one day I was on a day off, and I think I like recreated the entire Astros roster. I mean, I even had Doug Brocail on there, you know. So it was.
Oh, that's back when they would use they couldn't get licensing for
No, there
names,
was
so
no
that
license.
you just have generic names.
Yeah, the only guy licensed was, and they weren't even really similar to, because you remember back in the day in the NCAA, there would be a number 28 for OU at running back, and he was a 99, but he was not Adrian Peterson.
HB number 28.
Yeah, exactly. But Ken Griffey's was my favorite, and then I really didn't delve into a lot of the PlayStation, Xbox stuff to see really. I'm sure the quality's great.
I enjoyed the World Series baseball title, the MVP baseball. They got a little weird with it, but yeah, they were fun.
Yeah.
Baseball games are always fun. Kind of like the hockey video games are just fantastic.
Sega was kind of the forerunner of all of that, if I remember right, in about 89, something
the
like
Dreamcast.
that. Yeah. And it was actual some legitimate looking baseball graphics. Other than the little stick figures running around on Atari.
Not like the baseball game that I love so much, the old RBI baseball on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the very first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, here's the thing. I got an Atari as a 9 or 10-year-old. I had Combat and Space War.
Yep.
My mom ventured out and bought me a Space Invaders. That was the end of my video gaming because the cost of Missile Command and Pac-Man and all that stuff.
You didn't have Pong.
I remember Pong before I got my Atari. And
yeah,
this is really boring, but it's just a situation where they, basically. It was just something to do, but I was kind of always more of an outdoor kid. I wanted to be on my bike. But then when I got to college, man, I noticed that a lot of dudes in the dorm spent a lot of time playing the Nintendo baseball or basketball and things like that. And then you get on there and try it with them and they just school you. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm not putting up with this. But no, the Ken Griffey baseball was pretty cool. And then, in the 2000s when we had a PlayStation 2, I think for our boys, when they were gone, I would get on World Cup or FIFA. A lot of soccer on that one, and then also Madden. Madden was great stuff. But
Madden got way too involved for me.
Madden did.
Yeah. It got to where you were setting hot dog prices, and I think I'm out.
I love the soundtrack on Madden.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it exposed me to FIFA, and Madden exposed me to music that I might not have been exposed to other ways.
Yep.
So, but
that's
anyway,
segue, kids.
It is. And so the question posed is what is a song from the 90s that you did not like then? And it could be country or rock. Hip hop. There's things from with regards to hip hop, the things I liked in the 90s. There's nothing from the 90s that I if I liked it then, I don't know.
No, can't throw in the Chronic. It's just on the off day. And
okay. So here's the thing. I was so anti gangster rap back in the 90s because of my occupation.
Sure.
I didn't listen to it. And then when I realized our gang unit guys were listening to it because, they got a kick out of it. And then it also kind of, a little intel, I guess. But, it was always a situation where I just didn't listen to it in the 90s. But now if I hear Dre come on, I'll listen. I mean, is
it like Michael Bolton in Office Space? Just roll the window up if someone walks by.
Yeah. That is exactly right. But no, if I had to pick one from the rock genre, it's a group called Space Hog, and it's called In the Meantime.
Yeah.
When that came on the Cat back in the 90s, Jeremy, I would switch the channel. I was like, this is junk.
You know how much I hated Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s? And now I love the Pumpkins.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest Smashing Pumpkins fan.
Counting Crows, couldn't stand them. I listened to it.
I didn't like Mr. Jones and Me.
I
liked everything else that kind of got
everything else on that CD was really good, but that song just totally turned me off of it.
And for me, so much of it was radio because we didn't have, streaming services and stuff like that. So a lot
I
of
had to
times
detox from Nirvana because they played them so much on the local radio stations.
I soured on them popular wise real quick.
Oh yeah.
And it all stems from a guy who he was a good kid, but like me and two other guys had a place up by Quail Springs in Oklahoma City, and I was out of school and working, and then the other two were going to school, and their friends would swing by, and Nirvana had just broke, and this kid who's just he was basically like Michael Anthony Hall in in Vacation or in the Breakfast Club, and he's like, "Oh man, I love Nirvana," and I was like, "Well, that's it for me.
Yep.
I'm out."
No
But
more.
I did like what was the one? Well, really, my favorite track by them was on the Beavis and Butthead Experience CD called "I Hate Myself and Want to Die."
Big Aneurysm fan.
And you're
Aneurysm.
the band is
Nirvana.
that
No, that's
okay?
a Nirvana song.
Okay, didn't remember. I didn't know Bleach until I started reading articles by Rolling Stone critics and things like that. But Space Hog, in the meantime, is one that when I hear it now on like the 90s on 9 or anything else, it's pretty epic in the background, and I hated it back in the 90s.
Cherub Rock, Disarm, two songs I just like. Yeah, change it now. Cherub Rock, man, that's a great tune.
That is. I had a friend that I worked with that he hated everything. He loved the Smashing Pumpkins, but he hated everything they did after Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Yeah,
he didn't like anything after that. Or he didn't like that, or after.
I don't think Billy Corgan does either. He talked about how it got too commercialized and he wasn't writing the songs he wanted to write.
Now, country-wise, like I hated Tracy Lawrence back in the 90s, the mullet-headed guy.
Yeah.
But now any one of his songs come on, I listen to that thing.
It's all nostalgia, dude. I caught myself listening to some Clint Black the other day.
Yeah.
I did like Clint Black. I saw him in concert down here in Norman. He came with Merle Haggard. That was awesome.
Wow.
And Lori Morgan.
Steve Anderson, surprised he's not jumping in here with something. He's quite the country consomme fan. But no, and then also who was it that I heard? I actually played them on Coyote Classic the other day. It was a group from the 80s and maybe just a little bit into the 90s, but Desert Road.
Desert Road?
Desert Rose Band.
Desert Rose Band.
They were a band that was formed by former Bird Chris Hillman, and they had some hits in the country genre in the late 80s and maybe the early 90s, but that all kind of mixed in back in the day on radio. That was the thing about radio, Jeremy, is songs that got play, they might come out and be a hit in 92, but you'd still be hearing them on the regular in 93 and 94.
Yeah.
Pop music, well, I don't know. Maybe it's that way now. So I don't know how much of it's that way. I'll say this: arena anthems need a reboot.
Definitely
play the same little pump up songs from 18 years ago.
You think?
Yeah, I mean,
start me up for every kickoff. Yeah,
I mean, I will say this: praise the Lord. I think that the Thunder this last season finally got rid of the dragnet when there's a personal foul.
Oh yeah, what are they going with?
I don't know, but as long as it's not dragnet, because
as long as they keep playing, I got a feeling after every home win, I'm good.
They've ruined me on Thunderstruck. I'll say that.
Well, especially when they had a country band remake it.
Yeah. Dan Narva saw Desert Rose at the Minnesota State Fair along with Asleep at the Wheel. That's one that I played.
I think I saw Little Texas at the Zoo Amphitheater.
They were big.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan, but then I saw them and I appreciated them because they were all very talented. They all played every instrument and they all sang.
In your 20s, how frequent were you a guest at the establishment called In Cahoots?
More than I'd like to admit.
More than you'd like. Yeah.
I spent some time at that bar inside the racetrack dance floor. Just a little bit.
That's why when Toby Keith wrote that song about "I Love This Bar," he used the line "trolling around the dance floor." Man,
yep,
that was an art.
Yes,
I worked with some guys. I mean, it was almost caveman like how they would start up a conversation with a girl. I mean, basically, kind of shoulder check them as you pass them on the dance floor. You know, just to spark up a conversation. Like, oh.
I remember that. I went back. We would go out every once in a while after work before I got married, and
yeah,
I guess it was Cowboys. Was it Cowboys?
Yeah, it became Cowboys.
We went there, and all of a sudden the cages came down. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Oh, they had bull riding. Well,
oh yeah, they did.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, it was and patrol nights, buddy. It was a nightmare back in the day, and really in cahoots is what made me despise the unnamed holiday of Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah,
because the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, when everybody knew they had to go spend time with their family the next day, it was Katie bar the door on Wednesday night.
Wednesday nights were always
they were big
big
anyway.
night because they had coin beer on Wednesday night, sir. Wednesday and Friday night, coin beer.
And Graham's. I remember in college, first time I heard of Graham's in Oklahoma City. It was living on the baseball floor, and they hit penny beer night hard on Thursday nights. You know, baseball is the one sport where you can go out with a hangover and actually still kind of function and play.
It's the athletic endeavor that's actually a sport of functional alcoholics.
Freshman year on the baseball floor, buddy, I was exposed. I mean, I was a kid that had never taken a drink and good church going boy, and man, them baseball players, they were
Steve Anderson could tell you some stories about the Sugarloaf in outside of Wilburton, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah. I would imagine the Southeastern baseball team is exactly like the OSU baseball team.
Eastern Oklahoma Junior College.
Oh yeah, Carl Albert there in Poto or whatever.
Degenerates on the planet.
I wonder how much partying goes on in Seminole.
Well, probably more now that Lloyd Simmons is retired. I don't think Zero would cotton to that. He's too busy. He's too busy helping them clean up injection sites and sending guys to the majors.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've
whatever that means.
We've covered a lot of stuff on this episode, and I was kind of banking on some of our super fans to. But thanks, Dan Narva, for giving us that tidbit on the Desert Rose Band at the Minnesota State Fair. I bet that's a heck of a fair.
Yeah. Is that outside the Mall of America? See, I don't know. I don't know Minnesota.
I met Neil McCoy working the fair.
Marty Stewart. I always liked Marty Stewart.
Marty Stewart's great. I used to watch his show on RFD TV. He kind of had a variety show. It was all music, not really comedy or anything. But
I mean, Blow Dried and nudie suits in the 90s, but that really good.
Steel do that he had in the nudie suits, and Marty's one of my favorites. My dad hated him, and I said, "Dad, why do you hate Marty Stewart? Because he always wears that scarf." Old man yells at clouds.
Yeah.
But, Marty Stewart, the songs he did, Travis Tritt's another one that I wasn't that crazy about him in the 90s, but I hear him now, and it
just takes you back, man.
It does, and you nailed it. It's the nostalgia part of it, and
Joe Diffie.
Joe Diffie, rest Super Sky Point. That guy, he was country all the way, and Duncan, Oklahoma, if I remember right. So, anyways, but we better get out of here. I know you've probably got a Friday to get to.
Oh yeah.
But it is going to be hot this weekend, man. So everybody take those heat precautions if you're in the Great Plains and Southwest, as it will be warm. But we want to thank Ruben Turion from Southwestern Oklahoma State University Alumni Athletic Association for coming on and giving us the scoop on the SWOSU Athletic Auction. And the website is there at the bottom of the broadcast page here, SWOSUAthleticAuction.com. Dan Narva with one out of left field, Daryl Singletary. And if I remember right, that's the Too Much Fun guy.
Yep.
Too much fun. What's that mean? But yeah, that's a good one too. And Diamond Rio. I've been playing a lot of them on Coyote Classic, and then also
Sawyer Brown.
And one of my favorites, and he only had a few hits, was Radney Foster.
Yeah.
Going back to the old Foster and Lloyd days.
Yep.
Good stuff. So anyways, but yeah, Space Hog, my favorite song from then. And then also some of them cheesy 90s one-hit wonders like How Bizarre and the one that gets so criticized, Love Fool by Love Me. They were a Swedish band, I think.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about it is I actually downloaded a song off of their album called Been It, and it kind of rocks. So a lot of those bands had cheesy pop songs to get notoriety.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another whole episode. But Jeremy, have a great weekend, bud. Thanks for suffering through all this with me.
Hey, man, it was great.
All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and follow us on social media at Law Dog Sports on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You'll see this here on our YouTube page at Law Dog Sports, and then also go to the website for any of the links, lawdogsports.com. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive, and we'll talk to you next week.